Okay, once my sketch is looking good, I'm gonna start painting. And because we're gonna be printing these on the lower half by folding, I'm gonna do one thing at a time to make sure the paint is still wet when I am printing. So we can be kinda slow about this and it won't be a problem. I'm gonna start with these trees in the front and I'm just gonna start painting them up. Made a little green over here for my pine trees. Mixing blue and yellow to make some nice pine type green here. And because our paper is stuck together, we can we can fold it as many times as we want. So I'm gonna fold it and do a little print and see how it looks. Now, you don't have to do each tree individually. You could paint, there we go, starting to look like a reflection. You could paint all your trees if you know that they're not gonna dry. If you have the time during class, you can do as much as you can before you fold it over to print. So I got another little tree. I'm gonna do my other tree over here. Uh-oh, there we go. These are looking good. I'm gonna make my bushes a little yellower than my pine trees because I want them to be a different green, so I'm mixing different amounts. I haven't even washed my brush because I'm doing everything that's green all at once. So I have blue greens, I have yellow greens kind of mixing together. All right, let's make my reflections here. Very carefully, gently pressing it down because I don't want it to smear too much. Just want the paint to go to the bottom half. Opening it up to see, hey, all right. So now it's starting to look like, ooh, maybe there's like a lake there or something, I don't know. All right, what color are we gonna do for that barren tree there? Maybe I'll do a little black. And the order that you paint these things is up to you, but it works best if you paint one thing at a time. You don't have to start with anything specific as long as you're careful. All right, dark tree. Let's see if I can get this mountain. What color should I make my mountain? Probably gonna do the sky blue, so I want something different. Maybe, let's try how about a purple mountain? Seems majestic. Let's make a majestic purple mountain. It's kind of a reddish, but that's okay. I think that'll look cool with my green trees. And I'm just gonna paint the whole thing. If you think that you're not gonna be able to finish one of your objects, like a tree or your mountain or your sky, by the time class ends, then save it for next time, because you don't want it to dry before you can print it. So make sure you have the chance to fold it over. And you don't have to be perfect about it. You just want to get paint, and you don't want too much paint, because if it gets blobby, if you start having pools of paint on there, when you fold it over, it's going to smear everywhere. So you just get enough paint that it covers, that it looks good. Oh yeah, we're gonna get a good looking mountain here. Make my hills go off in the distance. All right. I think this is starting to dry a little bit because I did it really thin. I'm looking at my tree and I'm kind of noticing. So I'm gonna add a little bit more just to make sure we get a good print. And if I printed it and I didn't like it, I could always do it over again. You can always cover up more, so start light. You can always add more later. All right, printing down. It's starting to get soft. Going very gentle. I don't want to smush it around because then it'll look weird. Picking it up, oh yeah. Kind of looks like a reflection in a lake or something maybe. All right, let's try the sky here. So I might want to save, if time's running out, we might want to save our sky for another day. But we're doing some printing here. We can always come back to it and print new things later. I'm gonna be careful of my brush strokes as I'm doing the sky, because I noticed in my mountain, the direction that I painted changed the way that it printed. And I want my sky to look smooth. The mountain looks good, kind of chunky. Some mountains are chunky, but I want my sky to be like flowing across the page. So we're gonna try and do the brush strokes all in the same direction here. That's my plan, at least. Maybe you want a swirly sky, maybe like Van Gogh or something. You could swirl it around and your print would pick that up. Make it look windy. All right, trying to get close to the mountain. I think this is gonna look pretty cool. Let's check it out. My smooth sky here. Just solid blue all across. And if you wanted to go back and add more details, if you're thinking, oh, I want to add things to the trees, I want to add things up in the sky after I paint them, you gotta let them dry. So this is as far as I'm gonna go with this guy. And then I can come back after it's dry and I could paint more details, and then it won't mess up my print that I've already printed because it'll all be dry. But if I do it while it's wet, it might smear, might get weird. All right, printing that now. So the sky should only go down here, right? Because I only painted up here, and it's okay because everything else matches up. Let's check it out. Woo, there we go. Pull it down, smooth, gentle. You don't want to go too much, but you do want to press it enough that it gets onto that other paper. Maybe I want to go back and forth. All right, let's see. Don't let it dry closed. Oh, all right. I could have done a little better in that corner there. So I kind of lost some of my sky there, so I can go back, okay, I need to find, that spot was up here, so I could add more there. I could paint that in, fix it up a little bit, add a little more paint. I could even do the sky one section at a time if I'm worried about it drying while I'm working. So maybe I'm being really slow and careful. Do little bits at a time. Yeah, there we go, that's a good looking sky. So let's get this top part above this cloud here so I can see where it matches up. This process is called monoprinting, because it's mono means one, and I'm making one print, and I'm using monoprinting to create the look of a reflected landscape in the water. There we go. My blue's looking much better. So I guess I did too much, tried to cover too much ground, too much sky there with my blue. Too much sky, so I gotta come back and touch it up. If I would have done piece by piece before, I wouldn't have to come back, do it over again. But luckily, this is very forgiving. And my fold will help me keep everything in the right place, so I don't have to worry about lining it up and messing up what I had. I don't know, I think maybe that's a little too much paint. That I cannot go back about. That's what I am stuck with it forever. All my paint. Let's add that in there. All right. Going down, folding, pressing, gently, gently, and opening it up. There we go. Got the reflected mountain scene.